I need to start out this review by saying that I loved Trials of Mana. The graphics, the characters, the action gameplay, how it was faithful to the original game, everything about it was so cool. I really enjoyed that game, so I was very excited for Visions of Mana as well. A few months ago, I was invited to Square Enix's offices to try an early build of the game, and I liked what I played, but I did feel that Val, who's the main character and probably the main character that I used through the game, felt a bit too heavy and a bit too slow. I didn't really enjoy playing him, but thankfully when I played the final game now, they fixed him so actually he plays much better, he's much faster, and he's been the main character I've used and just feels great to play. So I was really glad that they managed to make that change because now the game really does feel really great. So let me talk about the story and then the gameplay and some other aspects, and I'll talk about some of the areas that I think could be better about the game. But overall, my view is that this is an excellent game, and if you like Trials of Mana, then you'll love Visions of Mana. The story follows Val, a soul guard whose job it is to escort the alms of various elements to the mana tree so that they can refresh the magic of the tree. His childhood friend Hina is chosen as the alm of water, and together they set out to meet the other alms and journey to the tree. I really like the story. There are some really impactful twists and turns that made the story and characters really compelling. I'm not going to ruin anything, of course, but the story is really interesting and it takes some really dark turns that you don't expect. The voice acting is generally good, although I'd say some of the character dialogue could be a bit annoying. Especially when Val was picking up items that he found in the field, he just kept repeating the same phrases over and over again, and the same with Hina as well, repeating some of the phrases she said over and over. It's just a little bit annoying, like they shouldn't be repeating the same thing every 2 minutes when you pick up an item. But otherwise, I did find the story and dialogue and voice acting good. From a gameplay perspective, it's an action RPG, and if you played Trials of Mana, then you'll be right at home with Visions of Mana. You attack enemies, cast magic, and execute special attacks. You can have up to 3 people in your party and you can swap them out at any time. It's an RPG, so as you kill enemies, you level up and become more powerful, and you can unlock new moves and abilities through the game. It felt really fun to play. It's fast-paced, the movement is enjoyable and responsive, and swapping between characters is instant. What I liked in terms of the RPG elements, where you have a party of 3 characters, even characters that you're not using as part of your main party will also gain experience and level up even though they're not in a party. So that means that you don't have, say, ultra weak characters that are left alone that you never end up using. All your characters level up equally, which helps so you can still swap between other characters and experiment as you please. The open world areas are pretty big and you can find items, treasure chests and complete quests. You do need to fight enemies and grind levels because there are some tough enemies later in the game. But if you prefer to speed through areas, particularly if you're revisiting an old area, then you can call on Pickle, a giant wolf creature that you can ride across the map and avoid battles. The game is pretty linear and you can always follow the star in the map telling you where to go next, but you do have the option and incentive to revisit previous areas. There are quests to complete and tough optional enemies to fight as well, so you do have reasons to go back to other areas that you've already been to. I do have a couple of criticisms about the combat. It's fun, but it's also a bit simplistic. You have regular and heavy attacks, but it's not like Devil May Cry where there's lots of different combos depending on their button presses. At times it did feel quite button mashy where I was pressing the same combo over and over and over. Secondly, the lock-on camera targets the wrong enemies at times. So if you've locked onto an enemy and you kill it, the lock-on will move to another random enemy, but not necessarily the closest enemy or another enemy on screen. It happened to me far too often that I would kill an enemy and I want to then fight a nearby enemy, but I'm facing the wrong direction because I've locked onto a random enemy far away. It's not well designed, so it was safer just to not use the lock-on most of the time rather than end up attacking air. The combat is still fun, but I wanted to point out these 2 criticisms. The music is excellent. It really felt like an old school RPG and that the characters were going on this epic adventure. The graphics too were a real highlight. The game just looks beautiful. There are some scenes where it looked like a painting. So many games push for more realistic graphics, but this game shows you don't need to have ultra realistic graphics to have a beautiful game. Overall, I really enjoyed Visions of Mana. If you love Trials of Mana, then you need to pick this up. It feels very old school and PS2 in a lot of ways, but that really clicked with me. Whenever I stopped playing, I was thinking about it and looking forward to playing again, which is a sign of a great game. I really recommend this one. So guys, let me know, are you planning to pick up Visions of Mana? If you've already played it, what did you think of it? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.